This series is about outstanding architecture from around America. From stunning residential to public spaces to commercial. This is an architectural deep dive to uncover the incredible stories behind each design. Welcome to America by Design. Our ByDesign industry experts have selected innovative, inspiring and award-winning projects.
As human beings, we live within architecture spaces every day. And it's so easy to take these spaces for granted. This show helps us understand the tremendous consideration that goes into creating these spaces that enhance our lives.
Let's get started with our first project.
When you think of Manhattan Beach, you probably imagine sand, surf, and sunshine. But come just a mile and a half inland, and the beach feels like a distant memory. With this constant drone of cars and trucks, this isn't the place where you expect to find serenity. However, the team at Monarch is aiming to prove that the most peaceful places don't have to be far-flung. Sometimes they're hiding in plain sight. Trygve, so good to see you.
Karina, welcome to the Zen House.
Zen is right. What a difference from the street here.
Oh yeah, as you can see when you came here, we have quite a busy street out here. Our concept was to create something inward. We use very minimalist material. You have the concrete walls here, you have a natural wood, and we do a lot of glazing, a lot of glass.
I really feel that inward focus here. The energy is different, the sound is different from the street. I think even the air feels different.
The air is different. The pond helps with cooling the air on the way in, and the sound from the fountain helps with the busy streets, and it's such a great cultural reference to our clients.
So, in a project like this, there must be so much back and forth with the clients. What was that like in this case?
Well, in this case was pretty straightforward and very simple. They came with the basic needs. They wanted a really nice house for themselves and for the two young children, and also some space for family to come over. We were very lucky. They gave us free will to pick our favorite element and favorite materials. One of our favorite materials that we picked was the Gaggenau appliances, which we've been fans since we started our practice 25 years ago. Another element we really like is the KWC faucets, which are very unique and very beautifully designed. And then when all these elements come together, it creates this beautiful kitchen.
This is a stunning kitchen, and it must bring the family together in this space.
Definitely, this is the most important gathering space in the house, and we like to design the kitchen as the heart of the home. We really believe that kitchen, well-functional kitchen, can actually be a healthier way of living.
Mark, I have been so impressed with the spaces I've seen so far today, and this courtyard is breathtaking.
Well, thank you. We've really enjoyed our trips to places like Bali, Indonesia. So I think the team at Monarch have done a great job making this feel like a resort. We also didn't want it to be urban-like and feel cold, so we brought in plants like lavender and podocorpus to shield the neighbors. And even this olive tree that we fell in love with on our trips to Italy and Greece, the team from Monarch was able to help us get it and transplant it to our house. But what's great about this place is it's connected to the kitchen, so whenever we can, we like to have outdoor dining such as Korean barbecue. We bring the tables out, and because it gets chilly in the winter, we have these great Infratech heaters that extend our season so that we can entertain year-round. It's really become a daily rhythm in our life.
Trygve, are my eyes playing tricks on me, or were there two different colors of materials as we came up?
Yes, as you noticed, the bottom steps in the beginning are the same material as the kitchen countertop. We like to merge these materials together to create this kind of tension and interest in the project.
They're small gestures, but very deliberate, and they make such a big difference.
And especially here on the second floor, we have the primary bedroom with the balcony and the ensuite, which has the bath and basin from Snyder Diamond that we absolutely love. And then we made the kids' bedrooms a little bit smaller so we can use this common area for the family to connect.
Yes, this space is great, but we have to show her the roof deck.
Wow, this roof deck is such a showstopper. I mean, this house is like a Russian nesting doll. Every time I think I've seen the best part, something else reveals itself.
We're so proud. And it was wonderful working with Mark and his family. They were great clients on this project.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important to have great clients. For a successful project, happy client is the biggest compliment you can get.
Well, no pressure on you, Mark. Are you a happy client?
Very happy. Minark nailed it. I mean, this house is perfect for our family, and we intend on staying here for a long, long time.
From the outside, you'd never imagine what's hidden behind these walls, and that's kind of the point. This house doesn't shout, it whispers. It's calm, considered, and completely connected with the rhythms of real life. What Irla, Trygve, and the entire Minark team have created here isn't just a clever solution to a tricky site, it's a reminder that Zen is more than a destination. It's an experience.
Chicago on a Saturday, and this self-confessed design nerd is in for a real treat. Carol Ross Barney, AIA gold medal winner, has agreed to meet me to show me how cities can save the planet. Carol.
Mike, so good to see you.
Yes, well, thank you for giving up your Saturday. Amazing.
Welcome to my studio.
Yes, and obviously not too many people here on the Saturday.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Let me show you around. We'll take a little tour.
Now, Carol, you do a lot of work in urban areas.
I do. Cities are going to save the planet. Right now, over half the people in the world live in cities, and by mid-century, it'll probably be around 70%.
Goodness.
Cities are where we are the most creative, and it's where we can live most sustainably. So it's important to make cities livable.
Okay, so what are some of your tricks?
Sorry, Mike, no tricks.
I hate that answer.
But it's the truth. It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
There are some things, though, that we are really interested in that often appear in our work. The studio, for example, you can see we have natural light, a lot of natural materials. People are happier and work better in natural spaces like this.
Yeah, there's biophilia on display.
Exactly. Sort of proof that it works. So, Mike, here's an aerial photograph of the Chicago Riverwalk. Where were you this morning?
Oh, Carol, I did the whole thing. So is it 1.5 miles, is it?
Yeah, it's 9 city blocks. And it's really a good example of why the design of infrastructure is so important to livable cities. A lot of people think design is just about buildings, but the spaces in between infrastructure, those are important too.
Okay, yes, the bits in between the buildings.
The pieces that make the city work.
Yeah.
It's one of the most important things we design. But I'd like to take you to another project too on our way to the Riverwalk. It's pretty close to here. The reason is because this is a big project in a city scale, but little projects need good design too, and they're really important. So on the way to the Riverwalk, I'm going to take you to a really small project, a hamburger stand.
This is the burger joint you were talking about?
This is it.
McDonald's. I think I've heard of them. So McDonald's is one of your clients. I
Yes.
did not see this coming.
Yes, you're standing in McDonald's global flagship Chicago.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, McDonald's is headquartered here, and they built this restaurant to show their vision. It is the first LEED Platinum, that means very sustainable, fast food restaurant in the world. So some of the features, the timber structure has low embodied carbon. It's also recyclable. When you came in, you might have noticed that we had a big pergola that creates shade. It has 1,000 solar panels on it, and those panels create 60% of the energy that the building uses. And we talked before about biophilia.
Yeah.
You can see that the whole atmosphere of this puts you in touch with nature in the outdoors.
Yeah.
And then on our roof, we have apple trees planted.
Now, Carol, you would know this stat. How many outlets does McDonald's have?
Oh, globally, McDonald's has over 40,000 restaurants.
Wow. So think of the footprint, the impact from that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about the impact of big projects like the Chicago Riverwalk, but this shows how little projects can also have an impact, that every project is important.
Well, Carol, this is lovely. And I bet there must have been quite the journey to create this ongoing promenade along here.
You know, Mike, how you say that project was so hard, it took an act of Congress?
Yeah.
In the US, waterways are controlled by Congress. To build the Riverwalk, we needed more land.
Yeah.
And Congress gave us 20 feet additional land under the bridge. And that gave us the opportunity to create this continuous walkway.
Carol, you're formidable. I can imagine this was a project where it's just like never give up.
Oh, it is. But it allowed us to let the bridges create rooms, and each room has a different feel.
So tell me about this room.
Well, this room is called the River Theater, and what we did here is we took the city street and we bent it down to the river. It's a great space. It's a contemplative space. You could read a book here, eat your lunch here. It's also a space that has a tragic part of Chicago's history. Right here, the Eastland Psych in 1915, with a loss of life of 800 people. The river is really seeped in Chicago history. That's just one example.
So this is another room.
Yes, this is the jetty. This is our recreation of what Chicago River would look like in nature. Chicago River is really a sluggish river, and the banks were wetlands. So these are floating plants. And beneath us is probably the world's largest fish hotel. Underneath these piers, we've created places for fish to live, and then fish food grows underneath these plants. That's what the fish eat.
And I guess if the fish are back, then the river must be cleaner than it's ever been.
The river is clean. In fact, tomorrow, Chicago's holding the first Chicago swim marathon in 100 years. The river is clean enough to fish and to swim.
Well, Carol, we're back in perhaps my favourite room, the River Theatre. But I guess this project never really has an end. I can imagine it continuing to evolve.
Oh, the river continues to change. There are more projects on the river. In fact, I have some crazy ones on my mind. The bridge houses, for example, the bridge keepers used to live there so they could raise the bridges at any hour, but now they're vacant. I'd like to turn those into Airbnbs.
Oh, what a great idea. I could see myself up there with in a white fluffy dressing gown drinking a short black.
It'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Amazing.
I have a little gift for you. This is a book that we wrote about the history of Chicago's rivers and also the design of this project.
Oh, I have to get you to sign it.
I think that the lesson here is it shows you how good design and public space can change a city. I'm a native Chicagoan. When I started this project, even I didn't understand how important this space was and how it could change the way people think about Chicago. Good design is a superpower. It can change cities.
What a great way to spend a Saturday. Thanks, Carol.
I've enjoyed it too. Thanks for coming to Chicago, Mike.
Almost in every architecture school, the cat shelter is a project that we do as a test project or something that we want to like experiment on or get students to play with. But imagine getting a project like that in real life as a professional opportunity and actually winning awards on it. It's just awesome.
You might not expect a cat shelter with Frank Lloyd Wright vibes and a wedding venue, but nothing about this place is typical. This is where good design meets good karma and a whole lot of fur.
So 23 years ago, I found a mother cat and her kittens in my backyard. And that moment really changed my life. I decided that my calling in life was to save homeless animals. So I started Furkids. And about 7 years ago, found this beautiful sanctuary here. It used to be a water garden.
And I understand you only had 90 days to raise funds, secure the site. How did you even begin to take this on?
I was successful because we have a lot of wonderful supporters that love animals deeply and wanted to see us successful in this venture. So we restored the gardens, we renovated the main building, and then raised the funds to add additional buildings. So we created our event center, and then we built our beautiful new cat shelter. This is Glitch, and Glitch acts a lot like a dog. Very friendly, very playful, and waiting for a wonderful home.
So you had donors, I understand, that envisioned a Frank Lloyd Wright style to the design, and a founder that was envisioning Pacific Northwest sort of cabin style. How did you balance both design visions?
I really felt the task early on was studying both styles and extracting elements of them that we can utilize in terms of things that will work well together for a holistic design approach. One of the big questions was, how are we going to give the cats some outside space? And these are actually the catios, and this was a really big part of the project early on, where the client described what these spaces would be, but didn't sort of envision what they look like. So it was really an interesting component to us that we pushed early on into the design to ensure that they became sort of the forefront of our decisions.
Look at these trusses. I can tell you incorporated that cabin style to the design.
We really wanted to make this grand adoption room a multi-function space, and in order to do that, we wanted to have exposed trusses to make the ceilings feel taller. So our novel design approach was to get pre-engineered trusses that we wrapped in poplar and bolted the sort of outside planes to it.
Were there other materials that were important for this particular space?
Yeah, so silico flooring was really important. We used resinous flooring in all the cat rooms. True grid pavers is a big one that actually surrounds the entire site. So that's a paver that allows you to fill with stone and then rain can percolate through. And then pellet doors and windows was used pretty extensively.
You mentioned multifunction space. How does that actually work in an environment like this?
Yeah, so these are actually cat condos, and these are all on wheels. These are meant to roll out into some oversized hallways that run down the center of the building so that they can be pushed to the side and stored safely with cats in them. And that allows the space to really open up for different corporate events, educational classes, or specialty adoption days.
So what an impressive space. And considering it has your namesakes, what do you see the space being used for?
We have weddings, we have proms, we have celebration of life, parties, Super Bowl parties. It's just all about raising funds to save lives.
We know that if we get people out here and show them what we're doing, that they are very excited about it because it's a different thing, it's a different approach, and it's going to serve our animals the best that we can, and that's the goal.
Now I understand this cafe is named after Clancy, and this is your Clancy up on the wall here?
That is Clancy up there. Clancy never thought he'd get his name in here.
Not everyone is ready to adopt when they come to the shelter, but we want them to know all are welcome here. And so the Cat Cafe really allows us to connect with people in the community that might just want to come and interact with cats, maybe read a book, have a cup of coffee, work on their laptop.
Sam wanted to have an outdoor porch area, but what's important is that the porch had to be isolated from the rest of the building, so the cats in here wouldn't roam out in the rest of the building. Additionally, we had to put litter boxes somewhere, so the way we did that was we built this wall out to hide the litter boxes. There's a series of them behind this wall, and in order to get into it, we created 2 apertures down at the bottom of the wall that are in the shape of a house, like a little pitched roof.
I am proud and honored that we were allowed to be a part of it.
We're really pleased, and we feel like it's very welcoming to volunteers, and the cats are obviously comfortable. It's great design.
They are living their best life.
Turns out when you mix passion, vision, and some committed donors, and a whole lot of cats, you get something that's way more than just a building. You get a home, a haven, a great place to throw a party, and a great space for some very lucky cats.
The Olympic Games aren't just a collection of the world's most competitive sporting events. They are a spectacle that has thrilled us throughout human history, and Team USA is an important part of that story. With nearly 130 years involving thrilling moments of victory and agonizing moments of defeat, the designers of the US Olympic and Paralympic Museum had their own competitive match to prove themselves. Throw in a few hurdles and the need to connect this project to a new urban center, and you have an Olympic-sized challenge on your hands. Andy, Ben.
Thomas, good to see you.
Hey, thanks for coming.
So happy to be here, and what an unbelievable setting we're in. Right in the center of the city, this amazing backdrop of the mountains, in the shadow of Pikes Peak itself.
It's spectacular. It's an amazing setting right here in the Front Range of Colorado. It's got the U.S. Olympic Committee headquarters here. It's got a U.S. Olympic Training Center, and now it has the United States Olympic and Paralympic Museum.
What a match made in heaven, and what a wonderful canvas, Ben, to begin a design process. How did you begin?
It was a little bit humbling. It began on a napkin sketch, a two-part building that framed the approach from downtown along Vermejo, that monumental mountain in the background, the kind of Olympic setting, with a generous, gracious plaza of entrance that welcomes everybody in of all abilities and backgrounds. The building itself had to be truly iconic, so the flexing and twisting form really feels like the body of an Olympic athlete winding up in the middle of the performance.
What about the skin? Because it looks quite special.
There are 9,000 unique panels on the exterior of the building that form that shimmering skin that wraps it. And the skin really is evocative of like an Olympic swimmer's shark skin costume, the thing that streamlined their body's motion through the water.
That's so poetic. You also mentioned welcoming everyone here, so I imagine universal design and accessibility was a huge driver, wasn't it?
Absolutely. We wanted everybody that came to this museum to have the same experience, regardless of their level of mobility. But we wanted to create one of the most accessible museums in the world.
What an incredible soaring space to arrive in. And I love this idea that you're faced with stories of Olympians right away.
Yeah, we wanted to have an incredibly high impact experience for everybody when they arrive. This 40-foot tall LED screen that tells the story of Olympics and Paralympics athletes immediately when you arrive. We want it to be a space both of orientation at the heart of the building, but also a space of inspiration. There's daylight at the top, your eyes are drawn up. As your eyes descend down, you see the custom perforations through the panels that we created with Armstrong World Industries.
After a guest arrive here, where do they go next to unfold their experience?
So everybody starts here and goes up a room-sized elevator together to the top. And then from there, visitors all follow a common universal path until they arrive back in the lobby space at the bottom. There's also the opportunity to customize your experience with RFID.
As in radio frequency identification.
Exactly. It customizes the experience to your interests, your background, your abilities, to make it a unique storytelling experience for each person who visits.
Andy, now that we've arrived at the top gallery, I am struck by the drama of this exhibit.
Well, we wanted to start with a bang, and we worked with the curators, the exhibit designers, all sorts of folks to help start with that bang. And one of the exciting things here is we have this collection of torches. This is one of the only 2 in the world complete collections of Olympic flames.
That is so cool.
One of my favorites is the interactive exhibit where you can actually race against Jesse Owens. I don't think anybody's beat him as far as I know yet. We also have that terrific lab, and it's about sports and technology and how technology is evolving. But I think the really exciting thing was how all of the galleries are framed around the conversations that we had with real Olympic athletes. They provided great stories about what was important to them and what shaped their Olympic experience. And you really get that sense when you come here. Thomas, welcome to the event space.
Wait a minute, is this the scoreboard from Lake Placid?
Sure enough, Miracle on Ice game 1980. It's a truly treasured possession here, and it found a terrific home here in this event space.
The other thing I noticed about this space is this giant sweeping arc that we saw from the outside of the building.
So we worked with a group radius track to actually make those shapes happen and form those shapes so that we could attach this amazing skin to the outside.
That arc then leads us to this fantastic knockout view.
Yeah, it's a great view that way, but I love the view to downtown. This room itself showcases everything that is really exciting about what's happening right here in this burgeoning neighborhood in Colorado Springs.
This bridge is just such an interesting complement to the whole museum. It really feels like it extends the experience for people.
The bridge is really the heart of the urban story of the project. We had to connect the city across 12 active rail lines to the museum. There's also a really interesting story about the installation of the project because we're only allowed to shut down the train lines for one day. So King Fabrication out of Texas prefabricated the bridge on the other side and in 1 8-hour window of time lifted the bridge up and gently dropped it on its 2 piers in place.
Wow, that must have been amazing to watch. Now, you mentioned the city separate from the museum. Were those 2 distinct entities you had to work with?
Exactly, that was one of the big challenges, is that the bridge itself was publicly funded, community support, City of Colorado Springs. Museum was a privately funded philanthropic enterprise, but the bridge itself sits on a wall of the museum on one side. So somehow we had to get these 2 entities to collaborate and come together.
Interesting, so really passing the baton between each other must have been a close partnership.
There were a few challenges along the way, but it was in the end a great collaboration between the city and the museum that produced this amazing project.
The great success was that it allowed us to take these 2 entities to connect the west side of Colorado Springs, America the Beautiful Park, the museum as the focal point, connecting into downtown Colorado Springs, all along accessible pathways. And so it's really the idea of connecting and bringing all sorts of different folks together.
The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum is a masterclass in creating bold architecture that embodies its purpose. The teams at Diller Scofidio Renfro and Anderson Mason Dale have created a beautiful monument to the Games, one that also stays connected to the city thanks to the Park Union Bridge. With an emphasis on universal design, engaging galleries, and sculptural form that's exciting as the thrill of victory, this project really goes for the gold.
Now, this next story is something you would not expect to see on an architecture show, but when you look a little closer, it makes perfect sense. From Frank Gehry to Frank Lloyd Wright and beyond, architects have always designed and been obsessed with chairs.
Toronto-based Umbra merges sophistication, design, and functionality. Their new chair, the Ringo, is a great part of that legacy.
We were a couple of hippies in the 60s, mid-60s. We tried to find things for our apartments that were first apartments, and we really couldn't find anything that spoke to us. They were either mass market, basic, boring, or too expensive, snobby design. And we started making stuff for ourselves and putting it on our windows and putting it in our apartments. People said they're really cool. Where can we get them? And we said, we made them. They said, well, maybe there's a business here.
As a young designer in New York, I had a lot of Umbra product in my home. So I'm wondering, what was the product that really put you on the map?
It's actually trash cans, the lowly trash can. Nobody had thought of applying design and creativity to trash cans, and the whole world started buying
one
them.
of those.
That was the moment that we realized we could sell a lot of everyday items at affordable prices.
Mm-hmm. So Umbra's been around for 45 years, which is really impressive. How does one stay relevant?
Well, you have to change. You know, I come from music, and the Beatles were a real inspiration to me. And I saw, you know, they went from I Want to Hold Your Hand to I'm a Walrus within 2 years. I mean, they took chances, and they still remained commercial and spoke to their customers. And I thought, we should be doing that too.
And took risks, right?
Take a risk.
Yeah.
We're very grateful at Umbra to have founders like Les and Paul
where they really acted as like design agents from the beginning, promoting collaboration, working with designers from around the world who could really contribute to really bringing Umbra to the next level. One of the first ones that really made an impact to the brand was Care Machine.
Yeah, amazing.
Some of the first products that they did together was the O chair and the Garbino can, which is actually in the Museum of Modern Art.
Yeah, that's spectacular.
And just recently, we are working with Jordi Lopez from Kutark Studio. He's based in Valencia, Spain, and he wanted to show me a sketch of a chair that was really like, in its pure form, like a 7-year-old sketch. Right? The chair had a ring, it had kind of a floating canopy that would be the seating surface, and a really minimal base. And the in-house team here really helps take that to the next level with regards to materials, with regards to manufacturing, with regards to logistics, everything
production,
like that.
the whole thing.
Production, creating the final result, which is an eco-friendly indoor-outdoor chair. The O-chair was designed by Care Machine back in 1998. In our Umbra DNA, we actually want these things to sort of like be a family together. So we wanted to create a product that was complementary to the O-chair. We integrated in some existing techniques, but also used the metal in a different way. And what that did was create this ring, hence the name Ringo, right? But the ring actually encapsulates the injection molded form. So the plastic is actually resting on the top and the bottom of the ring here. And then you get this wonderful profile of this thin to thick plastic right here that is actually floating. There's no metal underneath.
So I know that sustainability is so important, particularly to this product.
What we've done here with the plastic is quite unusual, and you can tell by this interesting textures. We've incorporated in wood pulp, and actually that's grounded down from scrap wood.
Sustainability is a big buzzword in the world right now, but it is an important mandate for our company. What we can do for sustainability is design products that will last, that will remain in people's homes for generations and still work.
It's been so nice today to be in this space and to see all the products together. You really feel that continuity of all of them.
Well, that was the idea of the store. Our customers knew Umbra, but they only knew it for 1 or 2 products, maybe a picture frame or a trash can. And we knew we were more than that. So we thought if we put all the products in one space, people would understand better who we are, which I think we've achieved here in Toronto.
Umbra has been a big part of my design life, and I look forward to seeing how the collection evolves.
We hope you've enjoyed our look at some of the finest architectural designs from around America. Join us next time for more groundbreaking architecture on America by Design. For more information on any of the projects featured in this series, go to bydesign.global.